The 1986 Chernobyl disaster turned Pripyat into an abandoned city and the surrounding area into one of the most haunting exclusion zones in the world. In video games, however, these lands become more than a collection of deserted buildings, giving rise to very different stories shaped by radiation, secret experiments, military operations, and the struggle to survive. From small independent horror games to the unforgettable world of the STALKER series, this list looks at 10 games that use the Chernobyl theme most effectively. These are the best Chernobyl games you need to play. STALKER 2: Heart of Chernobyl brings the Chernobyl exclusion zone to life on a larger, more dangerous, and more impressive scale than ever before. After a mysterious anomaly destroys his home, Skiff enters the zone and soon finds himself at the center of a conflict that will determine the future of the entire region. Across a vast open world stretching from Pripyat to Duga, you negotiate with different factions and see how your decisions change the course of missions. You throw bolts to expose dangerous anomalies and use detectors to locate valuable artifacts, knowing that one wrong step can lead to radiation, bleeding, or death. Hunger, sleepiness, limited carrying capacity, and weapon degradation make careful preparation essential before every journey. With its powerful atmosphere and choice-driven story, this is a game you should definitely play if you are looking for a modern Chernobyl experience. Liquidators tells the story of a mission undertaken by 3 nuclear power plant workers after the 1986 Chernobyl disaster, where failure is not an option. You descend into the radioactive lower sections of the facility and try to prevent a much larger fallout that could affect half of Europe. From a first-person perspective, you navigate dark corridors by watching the rising readings on your Geiger counter, while one wrong route can permanently cost you a member of the team. Each liquidator has different skills, so every hazardous situation demands a different approach. Its grainy, pixelated, low-resolution visuals make each area resemble damaged footage recovered from the disaster. Despite its short length, its pressure-rooted in real events, distinctive visual style, and completely free access make it a game that anyone interested in Chernobyl should not miss. Chernobylite tells the story of former physicist Igor Kamenyuk, who returns to Chernobyl to find his fiancée Tatiana missing in the exclusion zone for years. In Pripyat, recreated through 3D scans of real locations, you gather clues, avoid soldiers, and face threats born from a substance called Chernobylite. You send recruited companions on missions, improve your base, and divide limited supplies. Poor management can damage morale and strain relationships. Although you can craft weapons, armor, and traps, stealth often remains the safer option. Your choices change missions and the ending, while the timeline system allows you to revisit earlier decisions. By combining a personal search with team management and science fiction horror, Chernobylite becomes one of the strongest games built around this theme.
This gives me no pleasure, but it has to be done.
SWAN Chernobyl Unexplored takes you into a mysterious Soviet institute hidden inside the exclusion zone 9 months after the disaster. The authorities keep the facility secret and exclude it from the evacuation. As a member of a research team, you move through dark corridors, search for people believed to be alive, and try to uncover the truth behind Professor Kaidanovsky's inhumane experiments. The game does not build its horror through sudden attacks alone. Unexplained anomalies, rare diseases, and disturbing neurological phenomena constantly play with your perception. Abstract puzzles change the pace, while devices developed inside the institute help you overcome obstacles and defend yourself. Not every idea works perfectly, but by replacing familiar mutant hunts with a psychological nightmare shaped by Soviet science, it becomes one of the most unusual Chernobyl games. Chernobyl, the Untold Story, presents the Chernobyl disaster through the eyes of a man whose sense of reality begins to collapse under the effects of radiation. You walk through the pixel art streets of Pripyat, explore abandoned buildings, interact with people, and search for clues that may explain what happened. The quieter exploration sections suddenly give way to shooting gallery sequences inspired by old arcade games. Soldiers, creatures, and distorted images appear on screen, constantly making you question how much of what the character sees is real. The combat can feel uneven, and the story does not always explain itself clearly. Even so, its Soviet atmosphere, dark humor, and unusual mix of exploration and arcade-style shooting approach the Chernobyl disaster from a disturbing and memorable angle. S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Shadow of Chernobyl still brings the zone to life as one of the most dangerous places in gaming, even after all these years. As the Marked One, a man who has lost his memory, you begin with only one mysterious objective involving S.T.A.L.K.E.R. To discover who you are and what connects you to him, you travel deeper into the zone. You collect artifacts near deadly anomalies and become caught in conflicts between soldiers and bandits. Thanks to the A-Life system, stalkers and mutants move independently of you, so a route that seems safe can turn into a battlefield within minutes. Hunger, carry weight, limited ammunition, and deteriorating weapons force you to plan every journey carefully. Underground laboratories reveal the zone's secrets, while your choices can lead to different endings. Anyone who truly wants to experience the atmosphere of Chernobyl should play this classic. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare does not take place entirely in Chernobyl, but it includes two of the most unforgettable Pripyat missions in gaming history. Set in 1996, All Gillied Up puts you in control of a young Lieutenant Price as he infiltrates the exclusion zone with Captain Macmillan, hides from patrols in the tall grass, and moves through the abandoned city as quietly as possible. The following mission, One Shot, One Kill, turns the assassination attempt on Imran Zakhaev into a deadly escape through the streets of Pripyat. Carrying the wounded Macmillan and waiting for extraction beside the Ferris wheel creates one of the tensest moments in the series. Although its Pripyat storyline lasts for only 2 missions, the stealth, silence, and abandoned city atmosphere make Call of Duty 4 a special game that deserves a place on any Chernobyl-themed list. Chornobyl Liquidators tells the story of the firefighters and liquidators who confront the aftermath of the Chernobyl disaster around Reactor 4. You extinguish fires, move through radioactive dust in Pripyat, descend into the tunnels beneath the reactor, and shovel graphite fragments from the roof of Unit 3's turbine hall. The first-person perspective turns the rising readings on your dosimeter into constant pressure, while firefighting and chemical protection equipment become essential for survival. The danger is not limited to radiation. Under pressure from the KGB, you must choose whether to reveal the truth, obey orders, or protect your family. These decisions affect the direction of the story and the fate of its characters. Despite its flaws, the way it presents the disaster without turning it into a heroic fantasy makes it a strong choice for anyone who wants to understand what happened at Chernobyl. Road of Death sends you straight onto the deadly roads of the exclusion zone to stop a second explosion. As a member of a special team, you try to reach the nuclear power plant while facing mutants, heavily armed soldiers, and invisible pockets of radiation. The top-down perspective does not keep the danger at a distance, as limited ammunition, food, and medicine force you to plan every step carefully. You clear contaminated areas with a special water tool, set up a tent when radioactive rain begins, and rely on your flashlight once night falls. Your journey passes through Pripyat, swamps, forests, and Duga 2. While changing starting points, objectives, and environmental elements keep each run unpredictable. It may not be as flashy as its big-budget rivals, but it turns Chernobyl's silent threat into a short, harsh, and unforgettable survival journey. STALKER Call of Pripyat begins with a dangerous investigation into why 5 military helicopters sent into the Chernobyl exclusion zone crashed. As Major Degtyarev, you examine the wreckage, follow the trail of the missing soldiers, and take the investigation deeper toward Pripyat. Across the swamps of Zatan and the Jupiter complex, you become involved in the problems of the stalkers you meet and see how your decisions affect their fates and the final outcome. When an mission begins, you must abandon your plans and search for shelter, while artifact hunting forces you into deadly anomalies. Upgraded weapons and armor make the journey easier, but the zone never becomes completely safe. If you enjoy games built around Chernobyl and the exclusion zone, STALKER Call of Pripyat is one you should definitely play.